Whatever I had, I wanted it to be nice and healthy.
Well, I mean, everybody wishes the best for their children.
Men want boys and the women want girls. Your children is the most important thing in your life, and whatever happens, happens, and I would stand behind them 100%.
I think the society still has a lot of maturing to do in terms of how they think about relationships and love and, you know, growing up as an individual versus not mixing with a group of people and trying to be in this one image of what you're supposed to be.
My wall looks like this because I guess it says the word miles and miles and miles going along it, because there are miles and miles and miles of not only physical space but emotional space between me and my family.
When it comes to relationships, I kind of have a lot of the same attitude that Zach does. You fall in love with people, and that's how I see it. That's how he sees it.
It hurts a lot because things were fine until I told them, and it was as soon as I told my family, everything changed.
He didn't actually come out and say, I'm gay. He just kind of talked about a relationship he was in and kind of did it that way.
And he started saying, what you do isn't right. He just kept saying, what you do isn't right. And finally I got mad enough, and I turned to him and I said, what do you mean by that? And he said, you have sex with women and it's sick. It's sick and it's not right. What you're doing isn't right. And like, I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything to him after that. Like, I didn't fight him. I just sat there and I was like, you're right, Dad.
I think when I originally told my parents, my mother, was confused, and she still kind of is about it. But she's trying to, she's looking over at us. She wants to find out more, but she's kind of hesitant at the same time. I think my dad is just kind of closed off. I put the stitches over his mouth because he doesn't like to talk about it, and it kind of, makes him worried, so that's why the little frustrated cloud is above his head.
I miss my friends at home, and I miss, my room and my bed and stuff, and I miss my parents, but I don't miss what they've become now. My father is very, very against homosexuality, just glares at Ellen DeGeneres on the TV and all kinds of things. And my mom isn't clear about her views, but I'm sure they're very similar.
It's a tough life, so I feel bad at the same time. I know he will have a hard time, and so I'm not looking forward to that for him, I'm the same person, before I tell you I'm gay, then after I'm the same person.
If it was the last day of my life, I would go home and, tell my mom, yes, I'm gay, still your kid, not any different than before I told you.
Some of the things that helped to create kind of the secrecy and the lies and the dark negative things between us is that both of my parents, while I was growing up, were very homophobic. I remember on TV when Ellen DeGeneres first came out, I remember my father looking at the TV and saying, that queer doesn't deserve to live, let alone tell other people about what she does in her bedroom.
Be happy with who they are and open your mind enough to just be okay with it and not think something bad or negative about somebody because their lifestyle is different than yours.
An apology would never be enough. To just say I'm sorry for the hurt I've caused you could never, never be enough. they were my parents, and they are the people that everyone tells you is supposed to love you unconditionally. They are the people that you're supposed to be able to go to for help. I was living with a female partner, and I didn't have rent money one month. And I remember calling them up and saying that I didn't have enough money to pay my rent. And they laughed at me. They actually laughed at me and told me that it was my problem because they wouldn't help me because of my life choices, is what they called it.
What I want to do with this wall is I want to help my family get over their lack of knowledge, and I want to help other families, you know, them understand what being queer is, and that it's just a normal part of society, that, you know, things we deem abnormal, people we label as abnormal, are part of society.
I want to feel good, but I also worry that we'll never be able to get past this, because this is just a small part of who I am, not the entirety of my being, and I hope that one day they can realize that too.
Definitely, family has had a big impact. Definitely, I'm really close to my family, so I mean, I feel really comfortable around them, and I never really have, you know, held anything back at all. You know, when you find who you really are as a person, it's kind of like this huge weight has been lifted off your back, and you can just basically keep flowing on in your life. It's like you can just, you know, there's no obstacles, there's nothing holding you back anymore, and you can just be who you want to be.
I'll just call her Mama. What Mama did to make me feel accepted was after her daughter and I broke up, I remember calling her, being really upset, and I, you know, told her, I'm like, you know, I just wanted to let you know that Cassie and I broke up, and you've been really good to me, and thank you for that. I just wanted to say thank you. And she just started laughing on the phone, and I was just like, what are you laughing at? Because, like, I'm in tears. I just got broken up with. Like, I just broke up with someone. She's laughing, and I'm like, Mom, why are you laughing? And she said, silly girl, you're always going to be part of this family. This is your home. It doesn't matter if you and Cassie broke up. You're my kid. And I just started crying so hard. Like, no one had ever told me that no matter what, they were gonna love me. And it was in that moment that I knew that she was serious, and that no matter what happened, she's always gonna be my mom, and she's always gonna be there for me, and she always has been.
Whatever I had, I wanted it to be nice and healthy.
Well, I mean, everybody wishes the best for their children.